Boom, boom, ba boom, 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 ba boom, boom, boom. That sounds so corny, huh? Anyway, and we laugh. Hoi, 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 chui, ah, chui. Thank you, Okra. Hey, everybody, it's Miss Indy back here with the beautiful Okra Sinfree, and we are once again back at the round table. Today, we're going to talk about whether privileged skin actually exists. I have a couple of announcements I would like to make before we get into it. And the first one is that regarding the homeschooling, I will be doing a part two of that. I was reached out to by a couple of people who would like to come up to the round table and discuss, their dealings in situations with the homeschooling. At the time that we did it, I'm in California, so a lot of the people hadn't even started yet. So now that it's up and running, people are having all kinds of issues. Maybe we can come together. Maybe someone has dealt with that same issue and was able to handle it. So that's kind of where we are with that. Secondly, I would like to let me share my screen. Oh shit. No, Lord knows I need to drop nothing on this computer. You know that. Hey, that's needed. Okay, let me share my screen right quick. And oh shit. Okay.
Hey, baby. Welcome to the round
Boom.
table. Look at you, Miss Indy. Yay. She
Hey, I'm
just,
getting it together. I'm getting it
look
together.
at you.
Hello. Okay, so this is one of my nieces. Her name is Ebony. She has a book out, and I just want to not write, I want to read what she says. And those who are interested, please leave me an email at independentbaygirl@gmail.com, or you can go ahead and just leave me a message up under one of my videos, and I'll sure to get back with you. This is what she had to say. This is my niece, Ebony. She says, yes, the time has finally arrived. I get to share my masterpiece. I must thank everyone who supported and continues to support the Free Birds movement. Self sabotage is real. Domestic violence is real. I survived both. Self love is real, and knowing your worth is real. Hold on, because I got to move it down. Never lose sight of either one of those. I'm just a survivor here to empower many. If God did it for me, he will do it for you. If anybody is interested in this book by my niece, please contact me. All right, so that's about it with the announcements that I wanted to bring in. Let's get to the topic. The topic at hand today is privileged skin. Does it exist? Hold on, Oprah, because I think I got it right. Does it exist? And this came to mind, well, this topic actually, because in my real life and on YouTube, social media, period, there are a lot of people who walk around like things like this don't exist at no fault of their own. Everybody's not privy, everybody's not around a lot of things or experience certain things, so I get it. I want to start off by saying, when I say privileged skin, let's just get into it. Let me read you the meaning. Let me share my screen again.
Peace and love, everybody. Thanks for tuning
Yes,
in.
Oprah Winfrey. Okay, so I want to start off by saying this. Well, actually, I want to start off by reading something. Y'all know my ass is up here all unprepared. I got this touch screen, which I've had for years, and every time I touch it now, it just want to make everything super big. Okay,
You
so
need to
here we
go on
go.
and send it to me. I wish
You
we
know,
could just touch everything and make it super big, but go ahead.
yes, Lord. Okay, so this is a simple Google search that I did to get other opinions on this. And this is an opinion from Mickey Kendall. And this is what was said. She's an author of Hood Feminism. That's the name of the book. And this is what it states. Think of white privilege or privileged skin as unearned, almost randomly assigned head start. Okay? It's unearned, almost randomly assigned head start. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to win the race. It just means that you will get to it just means that you will get to start a few feet further forward than anyone else. White privileged does not mean that you don't have any hurdles. It just means that you have fewer of them. Okra, starting there, can you agree with this lady's statement?
Well, I mean, I'd like to start with the fact that I resent anybody on YouTube referring to me as a white person. Being light ain't get me nothing but a hard time. If I was white, trust me, I wouldn't be on YouTube. Okay? And being light didn't get me nothing but some problem. Now, in terms of whether or not I agree with the person, I just don't think it's just people who have pale skin and straight hair that are privy to this privileged skin that you're talking about. I've seen people from all different walks of life, no matter what complexion their skin is, be privileged because of something that their parents or their grandparents worked hard for. You know what I mean?
I can agree with that. That's like in some type of inherent privilege. Let me ask you this, and this is for the people in the chat. Do you think that privileged skin or non-blacks, privileged skin people born into, do you think that they are born into a sense of acceptance by society automatically? Do other races born into the world have to show and prove before being accepted? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think, as opposed to a non-black person being born into the world, do you think that there's automatically judgment? And, well, not as an infant. I'm saying, when they're of age and, people start, from society. Do you think that black people in particularly are automatically judged just for being black as opposed to a non-black person? Do you think the expectations are higher for black people?
I believe that the system is definitely rigged against us. I know I might have not answered your question, but I've just always felt like that as a woman of color, and even as a woman, period, that I had to, and I know that this isn't about sexism, this is more about, complexion right now, but I just always felt like as a woman and as a woman of color, and even as a single mother that's melanated, I felt like I had to work hard. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but where I come from, they used to make women stand before the whole congregation if they got pregnant out of wedlock. What about the daddy?
Isn't that something that went on with, well, I'm not going to touch on that, but I thought that was something that was said. Oh Lord, his face is in my head. Malcolm X was standing up for against the his, I don't want to get in all into that, but it was alleged that this person that he, had followed and admired and everything, we all know the story of Malcolm X, had impregnated all these, girls, young women. And these young women were brought forth and condemned and cursed and all this stuff by the people. But the person who impregnated them, they just looked past that. What do you think about situations like that? It doesn't have to be that particular one.
I just think it's horrible. You know what I mean? I know that in past lives and stuff like that, we've read where, incest was common. It was common in order to keep the bloodline strong. But I'm sorry, if that's right. I want to be wrong.
No, you are correct in that statement. Actually, the ancient Egyptians, that's how. Yes, the incest was rapid. That's how they kept control of the throne. Even Cleopatra herself, she
Slept with
was
her brother.
her parents were related. She slept with two of her brothers. We're
Not
gonna get
two
into
of them.
that. Child, I've gotten off my Egypt page, but I promise, and as you know, or personally, I've been doing a lot, moving around a lot, doing a lot of stuff. So I kind of fell off, but I will get back. Yes, honey, tried to kill her sister, all kind of stuff. You know, the first time she went. Well, anyway, well, that's something else.
A whole
Let me
nother
read
show, right?
Yes, but stay tuned. Let me read you this statistics from 2014. A 2014 report from the Pew PEW Research Center revealed that the median net worth of a white household was 141,900 compared to 11,000 for black and 13,700 for Hispanic household respectively. What do you think about? I mean, just those
Look,
numbers in itself. Let me keep reading. Hold on. Research from Brandeis. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Brandeis. University found that a college education does little to narrow the gap. The median white person went to college has 7.2 times more wealth than the median black person who went to college, and 3.9 times more than the Latino person who did. Okay? So what does that say? So that even with education, why are these numbers so vastly different? Is that privileged skin? What do you guys think in the chat? I'm not in it, but here I come.
you want me to say
Hi, We're
something?
Me, Bad and Bougie. Sinister, you supposed to be up here. You coming up here with actually anybody. Let me see if I can drop the link. If anybody would like to come up and give your thoughts and or opinion. If you don't want to, you can just keep it in the chat if you'd like. But so what do you think about those numbers?
You asking me or your chat?
That's questions. That's for anybody who wants to answer.
I know you're asking the chat, but you know,
Mm-hmm. Out of
until somebody
141,000.
responds.
Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, I just need you guys to know that they are paying sometimes they're paying your children half of what they're paying a white person's child at your same company. I just want you to know that there are companies out here that are charging your female children, let's say for a ride through a rideshare company more than they would charge your son. Like it's too much foolishness, tomfoolery going on, you know?
I agree.
It doesn't matter how much like you can get all these fancy degrees, you still not gonna get paid with somebody
Right.
else that's gonna get paid.
From the statistics that I just read, that statement is absolutely correct, which is why it's so, kind of mind-boggling. I mean, but how long are we going to boggle the mind? I mean, this is $141,000 compared to $11,000 for blacks, $13,000 for Hispanics. Education or not, even with the college degree, privileged skin has 7.2 times more wealth than anybody else. Let me give y'all a little, y'all know I keep a story, but I have two I want to go breeze by really quickly. I have a friend, very good friend of mine, white guy, right? Love him to death, been knowing him forever. He's a very good friend of the family. I'm friends with his family. He's friends with my family, right? Now he was a drinker. He's no longer a drinker now. But let me tell you this: he had 3 DUIs, right? He jumped his butt into his vehicle and was riding around town with 3 DUIs up under his belt. He was intoxicated at that time. He was intoxicated at that time. and he was on his way to like a work site or something. At that time, he was like a maintenance manager for an apartment complex or whatever. Someone had called him after hours. They needed something done, whatnot, whatever. And this was like maybe no more than 3 miles from his home. So he jumps in his car. He heads down the street. This guy gets pulled over, okay? He's pulled over, intoxicated, legally intoxicated, okay? He was taken into custody down to the police department, and he was allowed to call a neighbor to come and pick him up. So, I'm glad he didn't hurt anybody, and I'm so glad that he wasn't hurt. But I have to sit back and ponder, had that been Miss Indy, little old behind out there on a third DUI, get pulled over, you mean to tell me you gonna take me to jail? He didn't go into a jail cell. He didn't dress out. None of that. Nothing. I don't even know if he got a court date. I'm gonna have to ask him. I mean, really, he was given, leeway to go home. What do you think about that one, Okra? And then I'll have one more behind it. What do you think about that situation? Just that.
It bothers me that there are a group of people out here that actually make laws and they break them.
Right.
The law isn't an opinion, and a police officer had to tell me that one day. The law is an opinion. So you could basically go into court and beat a case based on somebody else's opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like, again, this privilege thing, it goes across the board, whether it's in the workplace or whether it's in a jail cell. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like, I mean, how many white people get racially profiled? How many black cops
We're going to get into
white
that.
people?
Right. I saw in this article, I saw you jump up, Magnum. You jump back down. I'm waiting for you to come back up, dear. I wanted to get in that in just a second. I did pull up, some examples of what could be perceived as privileged skin. Let me give you one more scenario. Now, everybody know about Brandon. Everybody know I love Brandon. That's my adoptive son, not legally, but and he passed away last October due to drugs, pills, and huffing. Right now, when I found out he had did some shit, and it's like the police would never really do anything to him. Now he had stolen, stuff out of different stores, grocery stores, little liquor stores, and everything. Now he did finally get on an ankle monitor after he ran up in one of those grocery stores, right? But even after people around him who loved and cared for him, when because we all understood that he was being drug tested while on probation. He was on ankle monitor, but we knew that he was huffing, or had found out that he was huffing, right, and doing other stuff. There was nothing done about that. And now I just have to think, were they not tending to him because he was white? And I'm thinking, had he been a black boy, would they been so quick to want to throw him, into, juvenile, which I'm sure they would have gave him some type of treatment, at least at that age. I don't know what they do with adults. I think you have to want to be in the classes. But it just, now today, I do think about that. If he wasn't white, would he be alive? What do you think about that?
I feel like someone mentioned us or a poor person or a wrong side of the track person. That's needed, is mentioning the fact that poor people get the short end of the stick. I remember I called into this live radio show a few years ago, and I was just trying to tell the dude, I'm out here advocating for poor people. He was like, well, you can hang up, winning an election. It ain't about winning the election. It's about people being treated equally. Like, where in the world is there a group of people or a force of darkness that thinks that somebody is supposed to have more privileges or better privileges because of the amount of money they have, the amount of degrees that they have, the color of their skin, how well connected their family is. It's nothing right about that. Nothing at all.
Right. Magnum, would you like to chime in? Thank you so much for joining us at the round table. What do you think about this topic? Hey.
Hey, this is a good one, Miss Andy. Hey, Poochie. Anyway, we're back on the topic though. I live by the law of life. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, when you go outside and you just mingle with what's actually going on in the community, I guarantee you, 19 out of 10 people are stupid, and they're people that you wouldn't want to deal with. Guaranteed.
Okay. I agree with that.
And with that being said, it's like everybody feels like they have to be accepted by everybody that's walking around them and everybody they see and say hi to.
Right.
And on some real shit, me myself, I'm a loner. I don't give a fuck what these people think about me, because I'm just that way. You know what I'm saying? I stay in a man's world. You know what I'm saying? And my man's world is, it basically exists upon me. You know what I'm saying? That's my circle. That's my circumference. That's my motherfucking loop. I cannot live in somebody else's loop, because then once I live within somebody else's loop, then I feel like I have to break out of it. And that's bullshit.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you. I was ready to say something. I was reading, trying to find another article, and it just slipped my mind. I wanted to piggyback off something you had said, but yes, I do agree with that statement. Okra?
I wanted to just say, add something to what you asked me a few minutes ago. Back in the day, everyone did not have health insurance. So if you were strung out from these drugs that was thrown into our neighborhoods, if you didn't have health insurance, you was just ass out. Most of the churches, one church that I belonged to, they had a drug and rehab program for men, but not the women. Now, what kind of church have a drug and alcohol rehabilitation program for just men and not women?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's ridiculous.
But wait. Let me say this. That I understand what you're saying. My thinking, and I can be totally off with this. If a person is dealing with substance abuse, and I think that maybe it can be an issue for some, not all, but having the opposite sex around, I think it can be a distraction to some people. Now, some people really want the help and they're going to pay attention. Just like I went to I think it was I want to say a mosque. This was years ago. I went with one of my girlfriends. She gave me, all the garment and everything, and I noticed that the men obviously were separated from the women, and they were sitting way up towards the front with all the good fans and stuff, right? All the good air, and the women were seated in the back. That's how they do things. And sometimes the women were in completely different rooms. And I did ask why that was. And it was because they were saying, it can be a distraction for some. Do you think that could play a part of it? Or you think it's just, they just being assholes?
That's like when I got locked up in the Wright Street jail. They didn't want us, the women and the men, talking. We ain't even been convicted of nothing yet. Like, you holding me against my will, first of all. You're violating my constitutional rights.
Hey.
I get it. I do understand, whether I agree or not, in certain situations, there does need to be separation, especially if a person is really trying to, when we're talking about substance abuse, So, but as far as its privilege.
But wait a minute now, because we got a high rate of homosexuality. So even if you separate the men and the women, you got gay women and you got gay men. So separating folk ain't accomplishing nothing other than division.
I just saw somewhere, and I wish I could remember where I saw. This was yesterday or the day before. The jails are now, at least out here, were either they said they were considering or they had already put it into force that the inmates that have sex changes will have an option on where they want to be dormed, as far as with men or with women.
No, they
Now,
need something in between.
that
They
doesn't
need
sound
something in
like
between.
that doesn't they are giving them choices. They're not saying in between we're going to put y'all all here. They're saying you're going to go here or you're going to go there.
No,
What do y'all think about that?
transsexuals need a section to themselves. You need a woman's bathroom, a men's bathroom, a women's Olympics, a men's Olympics, and a transsexual Olympics out of all fairness for every single gender. And I'm serious.
Is jail fair?
What you
It
say?
should be. I said it's jail fair. Now it should be. Don't take what I'm asking wrong, but let's think logically. How fair do you think you're gonna? I mean, of treatment and every law be followed while you're incarcerated. And we all know you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but they don't give a fuck. Your ass in there, your ass in there. You deal with it till you get out.
Now you guilty
Right.
until proven innocent.
Right.
And don't y'all know the Supreme Court only hears a very small percentage of the cases? So what are they in position for? If they not gonna listen to every case?
Some
I gotta
cases.
mute.
Some no. Well, yeah, if you want to mute, but come back off. Some things, there again is the word that we were just, they, I guess, pick and choose, and they kind of have the right to, they've been put into position, jobs for the rest of their life, and all this stuff, so they can take as long as they want to on a decision and all this other stuff. That's privilege, and that's sometimes earned privilege. We know that everybody that's sitting in them seats don't deserve it. We know the guy that tried to sell Barack Obama's seat and all this other stuff. So it's always going to be some type of corruption, in my opinion. Nothing will ever be 100% fair because there are too many people that just, they want to skim off the top money wise. They want to put their people into positions, whether they're qualified or not. That's why Trump had his daughter running around all them places she had no business, all this clearance and stuff. And so, so I want to interject this. When we, and I'm saying for the roundtable topic, the panel in general, white privilege or privileged skin doesn't imply that that white people haven't struggled. Just that, there are different challenges that aren't related to the color of skin. What are some of the challenges that we can just think of at the top of our head that you would think that, let's just say, a black person might have that a white person, as far as privilege? I mean, I can think of one. I do believe that privileged skin people, as long as they can afford it, they can move in any goddamn city that they want to, no questions asked. A black person can have the same amount of money, can afford a place, but honey, if they don't want you in there, you're not getting in. What are y'all thoughts?
Hey man, can I speak on that, Miss Cindy?
Go right ahead. I'll mute
up. It's funny because me, I'm a big ass black dude. So like I tried to move to Utah, you know what I'm saying, for a job position and stuff like that. And that was just like totally, I had to come right back to Vegas. I couldn't take it. I was like, hold up. Now you got werewolves and weirdos, and then you got these crazy Mormons, man. I see people that I don't even think still alive because of their garments. They were wearing shit that was like made like in I'm serious, like man, like in the 1700s. These were like people, and like this, I mean, like I was in the bookstore, man. This woman was watching me. And I was like, how come everywhere I go, she's staring at me with this smile on her face? I don't even think that was a real person, man. And on some real shit, I saw some werewolves in the damn elevator. I saw a lot of shit. The fucking moon was red and it was sitting on the fucking ground like I could reach out and touch it. Man, I had to get the fuck up out of, excuse my French.
Go right
I don't mean to be, I'm a cusser. But like at the same time,
we
but
are.
nah, it was way too much going on out there, and and like honestly, I didn't have I also, and see, by me being me, you know what I'm saying, like if I go in the store, like I mean, like you can see me over the aisles, so like why are you looking at me like I'm about to steal something? What, I'm gonna duck down on my knees and stick some shit in my drawers? Like,
Let me
honestly.
ask you a question on that, and then I would like Kels to chime in also. as far as the following around, do you think that the people that follow us around, is this inherited suspicion, or do you think some of them, have been treated, I guess, a certain kind of way by a Black person and they're just cautious? I tend to believe a lot of it is just inherited for no reason. What are your thoughts? And Kels, I would like you to chime in also.
Honestly, I think it is. I think it is inherited. But once they actually have to go through it, because this new generation, I mean, like all of them are thieves. They could have the smallest pants on in the world and still try to steal something. And it's like it's so goofy because the way they do it. Because like we wouldn't go in like when I was a kid, like if I wanted to steal something, I wouldn't go in the store high. You know what I'm saying? To steal, like you know what I'm saying? Like you do that when you're sober. But like these new kids, they come in there smelling like weed, so automatically they're gonna get looked at like they came in here smelling like a whole pound of weed. So let's watch what they do. You know what I'm saying? And then they start crowding up around each other and laughing and giggling, and then they be dumping and doing all them little dink dances that they do, and then they be having that music playing all loud. I don't understand these kids at all. I don't know who raised them, and I don't know why they was raised that way. But I'm gonna tell you like this. They wouldn't have survived in my time. Hey.
Do you think you would have survived in their time? And I'm asking you because I sit back. This is something that I asked myself, and this is for the chat and the panel. Kels, I want you to chime in on this. Do you think you would have been able to survive in a time in which Mr. Magnum is speaking on?
Hi, Miss Indy. This is a great topic.
Thank you, and thank you for coming up. Thank you so much.
How you doing, sir? I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. And hi, Okra. Your hair is beautiful.
You can call me Mag, or you can call me
baby. Thank you,
Sinister Minister, or Mr. Century.
With regard, I don't know. We kind of went off on different things. I do think that there is a such thing as light skin privilege. As far as the being followed around in stores and whatnot, I have been in a position where I'm in a high end store, and I do feel sometimes I have felt like people are like looking at me, you know what I'm saying? Or like, how may I help you? What do you need in here? Like, as if, you know what I'm saying? Like, as if you may not have the money to be in the store or what have you. So I have definitely experienced that. But I think it was more so when I was younger. And so I feel like it depends too, like, the gentleman was saying, like in Utah or whatever, where, we're here in LA, so it's more of a melting pot. So people are pretty much used to, different people of different nationalities being all different income levels and what have you. So it happens less. But I can imagine a place like Utah. One of my sons went to school in Idaho. And so it's a little different there because they maybe are not used to seeing so many African Americans or people of color in certain places. You know what I'm saying? So whereas in LA, no, we probably won't get followed around for being in a Gucci store in the Valley. You know what I'm saying? Because they're used to seeing us there. But in Utah, in the Gucci store, probably I would get looked at a little bit different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I
think. I think it depends on kind of like where you're at, where you're from and where it is.
Right. Yeah. I can think. I know this. When I get pulled over, and most of us must have been pulled over for minor traffic stops or whatnot. When an officer gets out of his car and places his hand on the trunk of my car and looks at my face through my rear view, I wonder if that heightens him. And I wonder if he would have that same reaction if there was a lighter face, privileged skin face in that mirror. What do you guys think?
I definitely, as a person, growing up in the San Fernando Valley, I definitely have experienced racial profiling many times, like almost more times than I have not. Like when I get stopped by the police, even though I know I'm insured, I know I'm licensed, I get nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I get scared even to this day because I have had times where I've been pulled out of my car, where I've been called a drug dealer's girl, where I've been, my car has been searched for no reason. I've had a gun pulled on me before, and I'm a woman, and I'm not, I'm not dressed any type of way or anything like that. I know that where I'm from, Miss Indy, you probably know, because the Valley is where Rodney King was beaten. So we have one of the most horrible history of police officers in the Valley, and it was brought out.
Shameful history. Go right ahead.
No. So I mean, definitely, even to this day, even though nothing has happened to me, let's say in the last 10 years, but I'm terrified to this day every time a police officer stops me. My sons, have been harassed by the police. So, especially if you live in a certain area where they don't necessarily feel like Black people, or a lot of Black people are, so you get pulled over. Why are you over here? Who car is this? Oh, what, how'd you get this? What, searching your car for no reason, just for a regular, oh, you ran the red light, now we're searching your car. So I definitely have experienced racial profiling, and to this day, like I said, I'm terrified every time, even though, nothing that's happened to me, say like in the last 10 years, I am terrified every time I get stopped. I have 3 sons who are grown adult boys. I pray for them every day that they don't have encounters with the police, because they've been harassed as well. So that part of it, I don't know. I've just came to feel like that's just something in my lifetime we're going to go through. And I'm seeing that things are, people are calling for change now with what happened to Floyd or what have you. But I think for a lot of us Black people, that's just a way of life. And I think that's whether you're light skinned or dark skinned.
Yeah, if I could just chime in on that. I've gotten stopped 10 times in 5 months, y'all.
I believe it.
Okay, my son has gotten beat up by the police, even in high school, in every county, Chesterfield County, Richmond City, and Henrico County. Yeah, I mean, people are literally afraid of the police. I'm going down the highway 55 miles per hour and I see the state trooper and I tap my brakes, and next thing you know, I'm hitting a brick wall. I done cracked my tailbone because I'm scared of the fucking police. And y'all know Okra ain't scared of shit. It's just something that's been drilled into us. Now, Magnum, you're in the field of security. Please tell us how we're supposed to respect anybody with a badge, a black glove, a flipping stick, what's that thing where you beat the people with it? The stick. All that shit. How are we supposed to respect the people that are paid to protect and serve us, right? But they shooting our children in the back and locking up innocent people and killing them in jail and shit. Like, come on, bro, help us out. Help us out.
Well, let me say it like this. A lot of the cops that I ran from when I was younger are still cops today, and they like, so nobody ever caught you? And I look at them and I laugh. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hold up, like, dude, nobody ever caught you? And I just look at them and smile, because I know they normal people like me. But like, it's a lot of dickheads out there that I would prefer not talking to, because I ran from their motherfucking ass when I was younger too. And them motherfuckers look at me like, motherfucker, I wish I would have got you. But now you can't get me, motherfucker. I'm on the front line, motherfucker. You come after me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that's got to deal with the shit first. And then y'all motherfucking slow ass bitches come bring y'all punk asses up in the motherfucking building and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hold up, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of them respect me because they know me. But like a lot of them is like motherfucker, I saw your ass before. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't catch you because, I'm a track star. So I wasn't having that shit, nigga. I used to run from the police even when I didn't do nothing, just to fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? That's how we used to do it in the 90s. But like, truthfully, man, look, half of these motherfuckers are punks that got beat up in school and stuff like that. They don't have no respect for, they don't have no respect for nobody, because anybody that they think would draw attention away from them, They feel like that's the enemy because they have like these issues with themselves. But like at the same time, you can't blame all cops on that, for that. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them are cool. But like, it's a lot of them that are, because I deal with them all the time. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I work with the motherfuckers, to be honest with you. I just don't deal with them like that, and I never call their ass. I'm the only motherfucking I'm the only security guard you ever seen that ain't never called the fucking law. I ain't never called the police, man. Even when I was going through my own shit at home, you know what I'm saying? I never called the motherfuckers, and I won't.
People are people. What's in you is within you. Let me ask you this. Now, I'm talking about just our Black people. Do you think that this actually affects us too, as far as a darker Black person feeling a certain kind of way, or a lighter skinned person feeling privileged? Have we seen it? Chad, you guys welcome to chime in.
I haven't seen no special privileges. I ain't never seen no just light-skinned people get special privileges. If anything, the smarter children at my school got were the teachers' pets.
Well, let's go back to the slave times. They had the light-skinned Blacks in the house and the dark ones out there. Does that mean anything to anybody? Or
is that true,
is that
though?
just a matter of fact type? I mean,
is that true, though? Or have we been fed bullshit? Is that true, though?
Yes,
I think what it is. I think what it is.
Wait. Yes, I'm sorry, Magnum. Yes. It is very true.
I've only read that in a book, Miss Indy. That's definitely true. Nobody in my family ever told me that story. I only was taught that in schools.
I understand that, and so that's why I understand your position. Go ahead, Kels.
No, I was going to say my grandmother was actually my great grandmother, was actually born into slavery. So my grandmother had a lot of stories of sharecropping and all that, because as you know, when they were officially freed, a lot of them weren't freed till years and years later. But that is true, that the lighter skinned people, they were like the servants in the house, serve the food, take care of the kids,
right?
Do all those kind of duties, and the darker skinned people were out doing the field. And I remember my grandmother used to joke with me, because like I said, my great grandmother is half white, so my grandmother very light skinned, my mother as well, and I turned out a little chocolate me. But my grandparents used to joke with me and be like, because I have asthma, so as a kid I really didn't play outside a lot or anything, and my grandfather used to joke with me and say, "Well, what would they have done with you? Because you can't work outside and you're too dark to work inside." Just as a joke.
Yeah,
but that was their coming from the South. That was their thought process, because the lighter skinned people did do like the in-home jobs or what have you, and the darker skinned people worked outside. So they used to joke with me and say, "Well, you wouldn't be no good because you can't work outside because you're asthma and you're too dark to work inside." And then you guys remember, I don't know if you remember Jack and Jill. I don't know how old you are. I'm probably telling my age, but I was a part of Jack and Jill. And I remember my grandmother joking with me and saying, "You barely passed it, because the rule of Jack and Jill is you can't be no darker than a paper bag. If you're darker than a paper bag, then you couldn't get into Jack and Jill," which was basically training, the kids that were going to be the more affluent kids, that were going to go off to college, that were going to do this and going to do that. So, my grandmother used to joke with me and be like, "You barely made it. You barely could get in,"
Yeah.
So there are definitely, especially, families from the South like mine, they're definitely, you're raised kind of knowing those type of, old cliche terms and the way, people are viewed. But I think, again, it depends on where you live. Now that, you're on the West Coast, they don't really talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, that definitely is something. And I think it translated on down the line. And I think that's why we have this competition, let's call it, and I'm gonna keep it real, between dark-skinned women and dark and light-skinned women. You know, and like two of my best friends are, one is very light-skinned, one is mixed, okay, where she's Asian and black. And I used to always joke with them and be like, y'all bitches got to give me more time to get ready, because you know I'm dark-skinned, I got to be extra cute, everything got to be fly. And you know, but that's just the reality. Like,
it was an awareness that you had.
Yeah, as a dark-skinned girl, we know, okay, we got to be flawless. Okay, we got to, everything, hair got to be right, nails, everything got to be right to be looked at. And I remember, like, one time when we was younger and we went out to clubs and stuff, we had met this person. And he was a celebrity, kind of celebrity at the time. And he looked at me, he goes, wow, you're so pretty to be a dark-skinned girl.
Don't
and
you
I
hate
just got
that?
so pissed. And
Why?
I was like, oh, I said, oh, so if I was light-skinned, I wouldn't be shit. But since I'm dark, I'm okay.
I don't know if people who make those comments understand how number one, ignorant that is. I've been, you know, oh, you're so pretty to be a black woman. What the fuck does that mean?
No, but let me tell you how I've been in a compromising situation, and a white man done showed up and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you was colored."
Tell it, girl.
And walked away. So please, I need y'all to understand that this light skin ain't got me nothing but a hard time. I done been out. As soon as I moved to Atlanta, I'm walking around with my sister who is darker than me, and tons of brown skinned women. I promise you that men act like I won't even there.
Do you think that has anything to do with geographics as far as where you are?
Geographics.
We were just saying different places react, you know, differently, and we understand that. Do you think that has anything to do with it or no?
Yeah, it does have something to do with it. I've lived in 4 out of the 5 major markets. Okay. And it's just like you guys said, it's multicultural. It's a mecca. You know, I didn't have no discrimination issues in New York. I ain't have no discrimination issues in DC or Miami, or where else I said I live. What was the other one? Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, most of my problems, I just don't feel like we're racially motivated. I think somebody just woke the fuck up with a wild hair up their ass.
That's probably,
and it was usually me. It was usually me. Because at some point you get tired of being bullied. I was bullied as a child because I was light-skinned. And I thought it was because I was light-skinned, but it really wasn't because I was light-skinned.
Wait a minute.
Okay. I was in a project. I was in a project with a bunch of dark-skinned people. It was 1 or 2 other light-skinned families. It was just me and my mama and her light-skinned husband. Neither one of them was coming outside to fight for me. It was a couple of other light-skinned families, but they were suited and booted, okay? A mama, a daddy, a bunch of goddamn children. They didn't fuck with these people, okay? They was notorious for standing their ground. At some point, I was turning the other cheek. At some point, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm fighting back. I got me some security, and I fought every year of school because somebody always thought I was a weak bitch.
Because of your skin complexion.
No, because I was by myself.
Right. That part too.
Because I was by myself.
So you're saying it wasn't, you didn't see a lot of faces the same color as yours.
Look, man, my mama, my daddy is, my granddaddy is dark. My granddaddy, John Jackson, is black as soot. My grandma, you look at her, you can't tell what she is.
Let me ask you this, and this question goes out to everybody, and particularly the parents with brown-skinned kids. Have you? And well, I'll start with myself. When I first had my son 30 years ago, you know, things were, you know, as they are now. Yes, things have gotten worse. But I will have to say, as they got older, especially, well, I won't say especially my boys, so I've talked to all of them. But how many of you took the time or thought it was necessary to educate your children, and particularly your boys, on what to be expected or should it be expected? Is that tainting them? Let me ask you this. Do you think if you have that conversation and your child has not experienced what you're talking to them, do you think that that's setting them up for a projection of something to happen? Do you think we should say nothing, or do you think we should arm our children and say, hey, this is how it has been. This is what you need to do to get here. What do you guys think?
Who going first? Hey, look, cause like all three of my kids are like different complexions. I have one that's my complexion. I have one that's I mean, he's like high yellow. I mean, he's on some Sinbad shit.
Okay.
But like, you know, and then I got one that's like, you know, he's real dark. You know what I'm saying? He got that from his mother's side of the family. But you know what I'm saying? They all resemble their father. But at the same time, I'm not gonna talk to them about differences yet, but they're gonna witness it, you know, because like my son, like my youngest son, like, cause see, my oldest son, he's 20. So he already knows. He's in college. So he already knows what daddy be talking about. So he already knows the story. But the youngest ones, I'm gonna let them develop their own, like, you know what I'm saying? This is how I see certain people and stuff like that. And then I'll break it down to them when they actually go through certain situations with certain people. Because I ain't even gonna lie, I don't have problems with white people.
Right.
Because I don't deal with them. I don't deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Like my brothers and my sisters, like, you know, that's where like all the problems stem from. Like, you know, because like, you know, I love my brothers and sisters, but like at the same time, I'm gonna be straight with you. Some brothers ain't brothers. Some brothers are niggas. Some sisters ain't sisters. Some sisters are bitches.
Right.
Honestly.
I have to agree with that.
And so, like, you know, I treat people, you know, how they act. You know, I react to, you know, how they act. You know, and it's a lot of love out there to be given, but at the same time, everybody's scared to give it because, like, man, look at the music videos and look at how music has changed on people. You know what I'm saying? And it's changed so fucking fast. Like, it's like, hold up. Because I knew that, you know, because everybody was talking about this Y2K stuff and everybody thought all the electricity was going to shut down and nobody would have electricity. No. Right. What happened with Y2K is the internet. And the internet destroyed relationships. Because I remember having to walk to somebody's house not knowing if they home. You know what I'm saying? To say, is such and such here? You know what I'm saying? You know, before the people.
Let me cut you off and ask you one thing. Back to the children. Okay, I have 5 kids also. 4 of my children are my complexion. One of them is dark skin. She took after her dad. So in my home, when they were younger, I mean elementary or what, you know, that age, they did, you know, they get in a fight and they, you know, want to call her names and stuff like that. Of course, you know, I dealt with that immediately. But just in that, have you dealt with any of that, or anybody in the chat have children of, you know, and not, you know, kids are going to, you know, fight and say shit anyway. But to have it inside the home, when I first heard it, the first and only time I heard it, it shocked me. And what do you think about that? I mean, and this goes to everybody, panel and also chat.
Can I speak on that?
Sure.
Because like you know, when you look at me and my sisters and, you know what I'm saying, brothers and stuff like that, we all different flavors, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like, you know, all my sisters are, you know, like I have a dark skinned sister, you know what I'm saying? She's a beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying? But you know, she didn't get the attention that my green eyed sister had. You know what I'm saying? Because she had, you know, she was light skinned, she had green eyes and stuff like that. She looked just like, look just like my daddy's family and stuff like that, you know. And it is what it is. I mean, like, you know, but I never treated her any different because, like, you know, that's still my sister. Right. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, she got like, you know what I mean? Like when she goes around, yeah, she gets different treatment from everybody else. And, you know, like from my other sisters and stuff like that. Yeah, she gets different treatment. Because like, you know, she was always spoiled, you know what I'm saying? Because my dad had green eyes, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, they just do, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. And, you know, I can't really do nothing to change it. But like, you know, yeah, it was kind of messed up because like, you know, and she always looked at me because like, you know, she always looked at me as like a father because, like, you know, my dad died when I was 22.
Oh,
So,
sorry
like,
to
you
hear
know,
that.
yeah, and I'm 41 now. So, like, you know, basically, my sisters always looked at me as father. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? When it came to their shitty ass boyfriends and stuff, they always came to me. But like,
Yeah.
with the color thing, man, I'm telling you, in the South, is real big. Like, man, people, that colorism thing is like really like it's something serious.
I did it
You know?
too. And Ms. Kels, please feel free to jump right in. I did it too. I remember, and you know, I come from a big family, lots of cousins, and we had a cousin, I'm not gonna say her name, and she was the darkest out of everybody. And we used to call her Animal Cookies. Just because we get into it, whatever, but everybody called her that. And of course, we were kids. But once again, I'm taking it back. It's like, of course, now, I would never do that. But as kids, I don't know why we were that way, how we even noticed the difference. I mean, not visually notice the difference, but, to make a mockery of it. And
Right.
I mean, am I saying this right? Kels, would you like to
Right.
chime in
But
here?
Miss
Oh, we
Indy,
see your beautiful family.
this my great grandma. Don't she look like a witch?
No, girl, Kels, please,
She
please
was
chime
so
in,
sweet.
child.
She's
She
so
don't look
sweet.
like no
We
witch.
didn't
She's
have these
beautiful.
racism issues. Nobody ever taught me black and white. I never taught my children black and white. I never did. Did you see how dark skinned my granddaddy was? Now look how light skinned my grandma is. You see how light skinned her? But look at my little first son. He looked like a little
I hope we
meter,
ain't
a little
related.
Puerto Rican boy.
Nah, I saw that last picture, and
All my
I
baby
hope me and
daddies
you ain't
is
related.
dark brown or dark skin. You know what
If
I'm
we
Yeah.
saying?
related, I'm gonna be
Like
mad
we
as
we
you.
didn't get into complexion. We just lived our lives. Nobody ever talked about complexion. We got all my brothers and sisters is different complexions.
Right.
Do you think if that was a conversation that would have been had, that you would have had more of an understanding growing up?
It was
Do you
never an
think because that
issue.
conversation was void, no one said, okay, Oakwood, listen, you're going to experience this, or this may happen because of this? Do you think if that conversation you would have reacted differently or understood? Do you think you reacted that way because you really didn't know why they were doing that to you? Talk about it.
No, nobody warned me about the fact that somebody was going to call me a white girl or it never came up. You know what I'm saying? Like my hair, I had kinky hair. You know what I'm saying? I have kinky curly hair. Like it was never a topic for discussion. I don't even know how my children ended up thinking that I was white at some point. I never
So with
taught
that
them
being,
black and white.
so it's safe to say that you're one of the people, and listen, there is no wrong answer. I'm just asking for everybody. So you didn't feel the need or don't feel the need to talk to your son as far as, not even about school, just in the world period. I mean, he's probably old enough to see it now. But did you ever have a conversation with him? Everybody's
No,
different. There is no wrong answer. Because I
no,
kind of agree with that too, because I'm wondering if mentioning it, can that taint a child in a certain way? Can that, so it's kind of, Kels, what do you think, darling? You still there, love? Let me see.
I mean, this is my afro. How could anybody think that I was white?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yo, that's
We can hear
pretty.
you.
You look
Yes,
so
love.
cute, boo boo.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
love. We hear you. What do you think,
we
Kels?
definitely
That's my baby.
yeah, I think
That's my baby.
we definitely, I don't know if
Hold
you can
on.
Sorry,
hear me.
Kels. He's
Hold
having a
on,
moment.
hold on. Let Kels cut in for a minute, guys. Go ahead, Kels.
Oh no, I was gonna say we definitely, have always, that's always been like an open conversation, an open joke with our family, just to talk about or joke about or what have you, because like I said, we do have very light skinned people, in our family, and we do
I
have
think
very
you're
dark-skinned
bored.
people in our family. But I do something Okra said that was that rang true to me is that sometimes, you know, being light-skinned, you know, just because I have, you know, my mom and my grandmother and some of my cousins who are very light-skinned, especially in the South where we were from, sometimes that's not always the easiest thing because, you know, my grandmother used to talk about how, you know, the dark skinned people didn't want to accept them because it was like, oh, you think you so good because you're light. And then of course they're not going to be accepted by the white people. So they kind of were, and I remember my grandmother, and it always stuck with me. She said, I found the darkest man I could to fall in love with because I didn't want my kids to be always judged like I was. So she said, I wanted my kids to turn out, you know, more dark skinned because at least they are accepted here or there. And so I think that, and remember, my grandmother she was born in 1901, so she died at 99. So she was, you know, born way, you know, a long time ago. So back then, you know, I think color was looked at differently, whereas
I'm
nowadays
gonna
almost
kick your ass,
everybody's
Okra.
mixed. You know, everybody's mixed. So it's not
Poochie,
as
I'm gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna whoop your.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know if he could hear me because he was talking. I wanted to let him talk if he was talking.
No, go
Stop
ahead.
being rude,
Go ahead.
Magnus.
Okay, I'm muting. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, so I do identify with Okra saying that sometimes being light, you can still get ridiculed or and stuff as well. It's not just an easy walk just because you're light skinned, everything
Right.
just goes your way, you know.
Right.
With my kids, I know that like my daughter, she turned out the darkest out of all four of them. And I remember them joking with her when she was little and be like, see how dark you are? We found you. We adopted you, you know, and stuff like that. And she'll be like, am I adopted? And we'd be like, girl, no, you are not adopted. But you know, like, so yeah, the light skin, dark skin thing, that's always an open conversation in our house. We always talk about it. All my kids are pretty dark though, so none of them are really light skinned, but you know, I mean, I just think that it's a healthy conversation to have. I have it with my girlfriends all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's wrong with, you know, talking about and joking. You know, sometimes you have to make light of stuff that
Right.
people judge us on. You know what I'm saying? You have to make it something else. So, yeah.
Right.
But can I say this? When fat asses came in, it was over for light skinned chicks. And big asses been in for a long time. So guess what? I'm walking around here with the Mexican booty, right? So it didn't matter. It didn't matter how cute I thought I was or how pretty my hair was, honey. It didn't matter what I was driving, how much money I had. Girl, I ain't had no ass. So it was over for me. If you ain't had no ass, it's been over for me. It's been over for light-skinned chicks.
Well, listen, you don't want nobody who's just looking for your ass anyway.
No, I'm just saying, it been over for light-skinned chicks.
Who you
with
talking
no
to?
Ass anyway.
I don't know.
Who you talking to?
Let's loop back around. Wait, hold it. Hold your fire. Hold your fire. So, do we agree as round tape panel for today that do you agree? And this is yes or no. There is no wrong answer. Does it exist? Which was my question for the topic. Do we agree? We didn't get through the reasons or, well, we got a couple. What about, I mean, I know people who, and you know, that there are black, you know, I'll say black people that take it overboard. I know people that, you know, that have gotten audited and they swore if they was white, they wouldn't be audited. You know, some stuff I just think people just grasp on just you know, just like blame everything on white. What?
There's way more discrimination against bitches with no ass,
Okra,
than it is dark-skinned women getting discriminated against. I ain't never competed against no dark-skinned women. I've always wanted to be dark-skinned. Trying to get a tan right now because the skin is so beautiful to me.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful with that tan and making sure you're using all the, you know, what you're supposed to be using. Don't mess around and mess around.
Coconut oil. Coconut oil. We all getting shape shift anyway. We all getting ready to shape shift anyway. We getting ready.
I can't do it,
Our real
man.
skin
Really?
is getting ready to come through our existing
Really?
skin.
I'll say this, and then I'll go round panel, and everybody can give final thoughts. We kind of reached the hour mark. You guys know I kind of like to keep it at an hour. And actually, Kels, you can start because I just lost my train of thought, and then Magnum, you will go next. I just lost just that quick. I ain't gonna lie, I sat here and hit this weed. And I don't forgot what I was gonna say. But
Ain't nothing wrong with
Kels,
that.
would you like
Pass
to
it in. Pass it in, though. Pass it in.
would you like to say anything imparting, dear? And thank you so much for coming up and expressing yourself, expressing your opinion. There are no wrong answers on this panel in the chat. To each his own. I just really wanted to know, what people thought about it, and I think the majority consensus is that it does exist. And hey, let me be clear: nobody has a choice to pick what skin they enter this earth in. I'm a proud Black woman, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Kels, would you like to have your parting statements, dear?
Yeah, I just want to say you had a really great topic today, and I enjoyed being a part of your panel. And
Thank
I
you.
do think, like you said, we can't choose the skin we in, so we just got to love ourselves, however
Right.
you are. You know what I'm saying? Whatever color you are, or whatever, how big your booty is.
Right, Oprah.
You just got to love yourself. And I had a good time, and thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so, and feel free. My door is open. My door is open to everybody. We will be having different topics. As I said earlier, we're going to be going back over the in-home digital schooling part 2. I had a lot of people email me and contact me. They hadn't started their session where they live. So now that they're in it, they want to talk about it. So that'll be an upcoming discussion. You guys, please rewind to the beginning of this video. Also having a special offer from my niece. She has written her first book. Her name is Ebony, and all that stuff is in the beginning. Thank you so much, Kels. Magnum, would you like to have any parting words, dear?
I'll say this. I'll say this. In the South, you know what I'm saying? They do, man. Them brothers do love dark skinned women down there. But like, I'm telling you, if you go to like Denver or somewhere up north and stuff like that, they want, you know what I'm saying, either a lighter shade of a woman or a white girl. So it's like when you go back home, and it's like Vegas is like mixed up like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out here and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain style of woman. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have a certain style of woman. But like, cause like, I'm from New Orleans, so it's all these Creoles and stuff down there, So
let me ask you this, and this is my final question on this. To the privileged skin, let's just say, and as you said, the dark skin is more preferable down there. Okay, so if there's a light-skinned Black woman, do you think she would be treated differently than the average everyday person out there?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why.
Wait, Magnum. I don't want to know why. I just want to ask you this: on a positive or on a negative? Would she? How? In what way different? Would this light skinned person be treated better or worse than the women that they like out there?
Worse.
Okay, thank you.
And let me hold up. Can I just say something to add on? Just add on to that just a little bit.
Go right ahead.
A lot of people are like afraid, you know what I'm saying, of Creole women and stuff like that. Because in New Orleans, Creole women are known to stab you and shoot you. So like, you kind of look out for that.
Okay. Thanks for telling me. I'm not around those type people, but thanks for letting me know.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. See, like my okra. I love you, baby.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Peace and
Magnum.
love.
You also,
Thanks for having me.
I enjoyed you up here. Feel free to hit the link and join any roundtable topic that we had. Thank you for joining
Thanks
us.
for having me. Love
You're
y'all.
welcome.
Be good.
Bye-bye. Okra, just you and me in the chat. In the chat. Okay, guys, I hope
Thank
you
you,
guys
baby.
enjoyed this topic. I think it was needed. We didn't touch on everything. My final answer would be yes, I do believe that privileged skin does exist. I don't know that everyone is aware of it. And I do believe that I do not believe that everybody who has privileged skin uses it as a weapon. I was in conversations and a good point was made regarding all the marches, Oprah, and everything, all the protests, George Floyd and everybody. And it was said that, a lot of these privileged skinned people, and there are more of them than us at the time, out there marching and stuff. And a statement was made, and that statement was like, why are they here on the streets? Why don't they take the privileged skin to Congress where it would matter, where their voices would be heard? And that's just a question I'm going to leave with everybody. Oprah, as always, thank you so very much, darling, for
Thank you. You're
joining
very
me.
welcome.
And we will be back probably next week or in a couple of days. As I said, we're going to be doing part 2 of the digital in-home schooling. A lot of people wanted to bring it back up. Their children just now started recently. Some people are having problems. We're going to see if we can get together and try and work some of this stuff out, including making necessary phone calls if need be or live. Okay, so with that being said, thank you everybody for coming around, hanging around, sticking it out with us. And we'll see you guys soon at the round table. Take care.
Peace and love, everybody.
Bye.